let's talk a little Florida State recruiting, as one of their prized commits was at Georgia on Friday, but he's back on campus today. Also, a couple of defensive linemen trending in Florida State's direction. We're going to get into it, Steve. Let's talk about Kevin Wynn, the number 9 ranked defensive lineman in America. The Sharks have been circling this commitment for like the last 8 weeks, but Kevin Wynn still holding on to that commitment to FSU. What do you think of this one as we're just 3 days from signing day?
Well, Florida State, they've been able to hold off suitors for some of their commits. Chase Lofton is one where at one point it looked like I liked where Nebraska stood to flip him. He told me that FSU's still his front runner. I think that times they felt like around the Florida State program, they've been able to hold off programs for Kevin Wynn. He is not decommitted, so getting him back on campus. I could see him at Georgia. South Carolina's in there. USC looks to be out of it for him, but obviously getting him back on campus this weekend is as big as any prospect that they're hosting for this game. Him and Solomon Thomas, obviously, the 5-star offensive lineman. He was at Florida 2 weeks ago, LSU last week. Back at Florida State this weekend. Now all these guys know who the next OC is, right? Gus Malzahn resigns from his post at UCF. He's going to come to Tallahassee and be the offensive coordinator. He's got a track record, obviously. Who's going to be the offensive line coach? That'll be some questions, but there's a lot of potential flip targets and blue chippers on campus this weekend for Florida State. Tylen Lee is the biggest one, top 100 defensive lineman, currently committed to Ole Miss. I think Florida State leads for LeJesse Harold. He's committed to LSU, or he just decommitted. He decommitted from LSU on Thursday night. My on 3 RPM is for Florida State to land him. Sean Porrett's an offensive lineman that's committed to USF that's going to end up at Florida State or Vanderbilt, in my opinion. Usman Chroma is a guy that they've still been swinging at and have already had him on campus for a game this year, the Georgia commit. So, look, they're still in the conversation for some good players. They're starting to get their staff in place as they try and have a quick turnaround going into next year, and we'll see what kind of experience some of these guys have here this weekend in Tallahassee. And I think Florida State, they're going to upgrade. Well, upgrade is not the right word. Obviously, they'll make some changes on the field on the offensive coaching staff, and we'll see if that is an upgrade for them. They were 13-0 last year, so I don't want to act like these coaches that were 2-9 this year, the same guys last year that went 13-0 in the regular season and the ACC title game. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they added some juiced up recruiters to their off-field recruiting department that's going to help them attract some talent right away and then make them be formidable on the trail in 2026.
All right, one more name we got to talk about before we get out of the FSU segment. That's 5-star offensive lineman Solomon Thomas. LSU, UF, they've all been trying to flip him from the Florida State Seminoles. Solomon Thomas is in Tallahassee for this game. Now, he could be watching FSU. He could be watching Florida. Where do you think Solomon Thomas is going to end up in 3 days?
Whoever puts the most infrastructure and resources into that recruitment.
Yeah. Hey, he said it's a business conversation, so we'll see what happens. But Florida State fans, get in the comments section how you feeling about this game. It is on as we speak. And how are you feeling about the recruiting class? It was as high as number 3. It's been outside the top 20. Where do you guys think they finish? Let me know. Comment section below.